Hey there, you're watching The Appreciationist. My name is Peter Hartman.
Hi, I'm Valerie Soule.
And I'm Samantha Barley.
And today we're talking about self-honesty. Next time I'm going to smash the guitar, rock star style. No smashing the guitar. Keep that good. Hey, welcome to the show tonight. We're going to have a really fun time talking about self-honesty. I'm going to say hello to our friend in the room, Jason. How you doing? Just wave your hand there. Thank you very much for being with us here today. Very, very cool. Hey, if you want to participate live with us on the air, you can too. We use Google Hangouts for that reason. All you have to do is go to our meetup page, meetup.com/TLOAMTL, and click on the link that I post at the beginning of the show. I put the link there so that we don't get too many strangers coming in, but strangers are of course, very welcome. Before we get to the topic of the show, I want to let you know in our first segment what I learned this week. Well, what I learned this week is actually simpler than what I usually know. I was watching this interview with Oprah Winfrey and Stephen Colbert on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and she said something kind of interesting. Stephen asked her, how is it that you have this perfect smile in your pictures? You smile so well in your pictures. And she says, you know what the trick is? The trick is not to say cheese, because when you go cheese, you have this like weird look. She says the trick is to go, yay! Yay! And I was like, that's an Oprah smile. I think that's a pretty Oprah smile. So now I'm going to start saying yay in my pictures instead of cheese. And that's something that you could do too. Makes you look prettier, makes you look nicer. I think it's a pretty cool thing to learn. There, I said it. Done. Yay! Yay! Oh my God, Google's going to choose that as the thumbnail for the video, I'm sure of it. Anyway, you guys, the most important thing we do during the show is called a moment of appreciation. I'm getting Google messages, aren't I? It's called a moment of appreciation, and that's where we look back at the past 7 days and we pick out something that we appreciated. It could be something good that happened that's easy to appreciate, or it could be something that wasn't so great, but that we can see the value in today. Well, looking back at the past 7 days, you know, I was trying to scratch my head about what I appreciated. I felt so busy this week. I don't even know if I had a moment to appreciate. And then I was like, oh, yeah, of course I did. It's so easy to sort of forget those moments that you had. Anybody like to go first? I can go first. You want to go first? What do you want to do? I'll go first for a moment of appreciation. Okay, so surprise, surprise, Tom and I, we were asked to perform at a comedy gig. It's called the Underground Comedy Railroad. It's very popular across Canada. It's on Sirius XM. They sell out every show. And we are performing for Black History Month. It's Underground Comedy Railroad presents Colors of Comedy. And we're going to be performing, and I said yes to performing before I realized I had about 15 minutes. And so I'm kind of biting my nails, but I kind of appreciate that. It put me back in the mode of being creative and thinking about jokes and working on my performance. So I'm really happy that I got this really cool chance to perform at what's almost likely going to be a sellout show for a very popular comedy scene. That's pretty cool. And now all I have to do is be born Black. That's all I have to do. Like, be born Black and do comedy, and there you go. So if you want advice in comedy, that's all you got to do. Just go back and be born. How about you, Val? You got a moment of appreciation for us?
Yes, actually I had to think about it for a minute. Yeah, last week I had a very, very good coaching session. It was planned and everything, and it was in the morning and on the internet, and it felt really, really nice because the girl I'm coaching is doing so well, like amazingly well in the short amount of time that we've been working together. And she's just cheerful now, and she's fun, and it's almost like, you know, it feels like coaching a friend, and it's just beautiful, a young friend, but it's really, so I appreciated that moment. I was totally in the present moment. I could feel everything. I could feel my body. I was looking at a tree in front of me, and so I was very much in the moment, and I just loved it. It felt very warm and exciting at the same time, and I was so grateful and so happy for her. So that's it. That's my best moment of the week.
I love that. Helping other people, right? Isn't that such a wonderful feeling that you can get? And
the best.
Yeah, it feels really cool. That's really awesome. I love that moment of appreciation. That actually reminded me, just real quick before I guess Sam maybe, or maybe Jason wants to jump in with a moment of appreciation, but I just heard a song, like whenever I get a song during the week and it sort of captures my mind, I feel very inspired, I feel very good. Have you guys heard of the song by Alicia Cara called Scars to Your Beautiful? It's this really wonderful video about appreciating the way you look, appreciating the scars, both internal and external. I saw her perform on a Saturday Night Live, and she's just an incredible voice, incredible singer who's not trying to fit any type of mold. I think a great role model and for young people. And so when I see that type of stuff, it feels really, really cool. And that's another person who seems like they're helping someone else, they're helping other people with their music, with their craft, with what they enjoy. Very, very cool. Jason, do you have a moment of appreciation for us? I'm putting you on the spot here. It's not mandatory, but you are obligated. So you'll have to take yourself off mute there. If you click on the microphone at the top of your screen, just move your mouse and you're going to see it. There you go.
Okay, I unmuted myself. Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I really appreciate for being here and being alive, because last week I was really close of getting into a car accident, and I realized that, wow, I take so many things for granted. And the fact of escaping the accident, I was really grateful to be here and having a good health and having all my body parts, and really appreciate what I have right now. And that really kind of grounded me and made a lot of thinkings.
I really like that. That's really cool. It's a bad wish to wish on people, but I wish that most people could have near-death experiences. There's just something about it that sort of reminds you of what's important in life and to appreciate what's going on. Yeah, that's really cool. I bet a lot of people, well, I bet a few people had some with the ice rain last night. I think there was a few moments of appreciation out there in the city, but that's really cool. Did anything sort of flash in your mind when you had the near miss? Did anything sort of pop into your brain?
It just happened so fast. When I evaded the accident, I was just so glad I passed through, and my immediate thought is like, my life could have ended right here, right now, at that specific moment. So I'm just like watching my life fly by, and that was quite an experience.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, thank you for sharing that moment of appreciation with us, Jason. That's really awesome. Very cool. How about you, Sam? You got one for us? I'm sure Sam does.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I talked about it last week. Last week when I talked about it, I was going to a retreat this weekend. And so I went to a retreat up north. Where was it? I don't remember. It'll come to me later. So I went on a retreat with 40 other people who are interested in personal development, yoga, life coaching, these sort of things. And it was out of my comfort zone. Like I said, I talked about it last week that, being around so many people, so many different personalities is something that I'm not used to. But it was a really good experience. I had moments of, complete calm, sitting by the fire, going for walks in nature, waking up before sunrise to a gong, and then doing yoga and meditation in the morning as the sun's rising. It was beautiful. It was, we had potluck dinners and lunches. Everything was potluck, so it was like wonderful food, wonderful, interesting people, discussions about personal development and spirituality. So yeah, just a really lovely weekend. And being around a lot of people, I'm more of an introvert. I like spending with little groups, other than when I'm coaching. But it was a time where I was like really focused within, and my word for the weekend, like at the beginning, they asked, like, what is your word for the weekend? Like, how are you coming in, or what are your intentions? And mine was to allow. And so the whole weekend, my intention was to focus on me and to be as, allowing as possible with myself, with other people, with anything that was going on. The first night I couldn't sleep, these sort of things. And so I was just like, it is what it is, and I'm going to allow it, and I'm going to find something to appreciate and enjoy myself. And I did a wonderful job, and I had a wonderful experience, and it was great. So I encourage everybody to look up Daana.com, Daana. It's all wellness classes by donation. And right now they're building up their brand, their website. I'm actually going to be doing life coaching, like group life coaching. We're looking for locations. And so it's all going to be, they already have like yoga classes and stuff, but it's all by donation. So you go to a class, and then you donate online however much you want. Even this retreat was by donation. So just a wonderful group of people and a wonderful initiative that they have going on.
That's really cool. This is Dana.com up here. A really, really cool website. You also have to, so it's by donation, but you also have to make food, right? I don't know if you mentioned that just now.
Well, that was at the retreat, so.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's different for whatever you do.
Oh, yeah.
That's really awesome. Well, yeah, Dana.com.
That doesn't look like it, but maybe it is.
I'm sorry. I put in the wrong thing, didn't I? That was give energy. Actually, that site looked pretty good. Now I want to go back to it. Okay, I'm gonna save it there.
DAANA. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Global Dana. Aha, I've been saying it wrong. So it's globaldana.com.
All right, there it is. Very, very cool. Actually, that might be a really cool, what a great idea, because that idea, oh, look at that. I'm glad I found it. Look at that. Oh. Okay, really, really cool. I really like that. I was kind of jealous of you up there this weekend, you know? I'm like, I see the pictures and the fireplace and the beautiful nature, and I was like, you know what, maybe I could go outdoors. I don't know. Really cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sam. I'm sure you met really wonderful people up there, really cool experiences. Hopefully we'll be able to go up there and do a retreat someday soon. I think a lot of people are interested in something like that. Maybe that'd be fun to sort of plan. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is called What a Great Idea. And that's where I point you towards a product, a service, a website, an idea that is deserving of your attention, because whatever we give our attention to becomes a greater part of our experience. So why not give our attention to great ideas? Today's What a Great Idea is, and I hope I didn't mention it before, but if I did, I think it's very important anyway. It's the Monk Debates. So have you guys ever heard of the Monk Debates? Monkdebates.com. Monk Debates is a Canadian sort of initiative, and they do debates on all kinds of topics. I mean, should there be taxes, privacy versus public information, federal elections, all kinds of stuff. And so if you want to hear sort of great minds coming together and debating important issues on sort of a wide range of topics, this is the place for you. So this is intellectually stimulating. I find it very entertaining to watch. I watched Glenn Greenwald, who was a journalist who worked with Edward Snowden in releasing those documents in the US. I watch Malcolm Gladwell debating on the Monk Debates, and you get exposed to Canadian, American people as well, but Canadian sort of people that, you know, I don't really get exposed to on a regular basis. So check out the Monk Debates, monkdebates.com. You'll find some clips and some videos on YouTube. Some of their stuff, for the long form stuff, is you have to pay for it, but check out what you can find for free on YouTube, and really feed your mind, educate your mind, and have a good time there.
What is the website? Because what you're saying is I'm not finding.
It's monkdebates.com. Monkdebates.com. M-U-N-K, monk. Oh, so not monk, not M-O-N-K, but M-U-N-K. M-U-N-K debates.com.
We'll post it on the Facebook page.
Perfect. All right, there we go. You guys, Sam likes this fireplace, so I'm going to try to put that up on the screen. I think it's a pretty cool idea. You guys.
I saw it all weekend. I saw the real stuff all weekend. I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
It's not doing it for you. Okay, I'll put my face back up there. You guys.
Probably smelled good too this weekend,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
You guys, we're going to be talking about self-honesty here. And, you know, we talk about self-love. We talk about trusting yourself. You know, we talk about these things. But I feel like if we don't sort of get, we talk about being self-aware. But I find that being self-aware, self-love, trusting yourself, those aren't really the areas that people have a problem with. What they have a problem with is the reason why they are not aware, the reason why they don't love themselves, the reason why they allow themselves to be that way. And I think it's because we're not really honest with ourselves. We don't want to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to see the imperfections of who we are. We don't want to see those things that we don't like about ourselves. I grew up as a twin. mostly because I was born that way. And as a twin, you kind of see yourself in the other person, and you can get very annoyed and irritated because the same sort of problems that you have, you see reflected outside of you, and you kind of feel this animosity. You kind of feel this tension with what you're seeing. And I feel like sometimes we can kind of feel that way as individuals. We don't like those aspects of ourselves that are not up to par. And when we sort of avoid looking at it, avoid commenting on it. Look, when I realized years ago that I was lazy, like I admitted to myself that I'm a lazy person, not because I'm uninspired, not because I don't know what to do, just because I generally don't feel the impulse to do much. I had to sort of weave my laziness into my ideas for my future. I had to sort of accept that fact, that cold hard truth, because every time I set forth myself this challenge in order to do more, to be more, to do more, without recognizing the lazy factor, I ended up setting up challenges and goals for myself that were unrealistic, right? I'm going to work out every single day of the week. I am going to finish my business plan in 3 hours, whatever it is. And when I started incorporating laziness into what I was doing, I started finding myself to be far more effective because I wasn't setting myself challenges that I couldn't reach. I wasn't setting myself goals that I couldn't attain. When it comes to self-honesty, and you know, I'm not going to ask you to be self-honest here on the show necessarily to tell me all the bad things about yourself. But when it comes to looking at yourself and accepting yourself for the good and the bad, the wholeness of who you are, is that a practice that you engage in, like looking at facing the flaws of your character, facing the flaws of your situation? Do you find yourself willing to look at those things, willing to sort of talk about it with yourself, or do we sort of brush that under the rug?
It's kind of funny, like I'll start if you don't mind, because I'll leave soon. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Honestly, I'm more on a journey of self-acceptance. So, because I think I've been looking at my flaws for way too long. And, but of course, you know, I mean, of course, I think it's very constructive and it can be very productive as well. You just have to do it in good measure. But I have to, the one thing that I'd like to mention, as I was thinking about your subject today, and is that I've often wondered about people that I think are in denial, and I'm sure I have that in me as well. If I see it in others, I'm sure I have it. I've always wondered, is it really, I thought for the longest time that it wasn't healthy, that it wasn't good. But I can see the benefit of it, you know, because for some people, if that's the way you have to be for a while in order to be able to face whatever it is you need to face, you know, again, you know me, it's like non-violence toward the self. So if that's the way that you have to go sometime, or for some of the time, I think it's okay too. So for me, it's more like, I think self-honesty is very important. What you were saying is absolutely right. I think it's probably, it's more at the core of self-awareness, that's what we, you know, I think that's where we have to start. But if you're not ready, you're not ready.
I really like that. That's a very beautiful, it's the balanced perspective. Absolutely right. If you're not ready, you're not ready, and that's okay. Just put it in your head that at some point you can be ready for it. At some point you will be open to it. But yeah, I think that's excellent. The sort of, yeah, accepting yourself for who you are, not being too hard on yourself. The non-violence against the self. I really love when Val talks about that. That's really cool. Thanks, Val. How about you, Sam? What do you think when it comes to self-honesty? Do you find yourself dealing with that? Do you find that other people have a hard time with that?
So I've been, you know, into personal development and self-discovery for a while. And what I recognize even with myself is that when you're first looking within and you're, you know, really observing yourself and seeing these things that you might not like, it can be painful. Like, it can be sort of painful to see these things, because I think what we're doing is we're seeing these flaws per se, and we're judging them. And that's where that sort of painfulness and uncomfortability comes in. And I think a lot of people don't want to feel that. And I think what Val is saying is good. It's like, you know, being able to see it and accept it, like self-acceptance. So I'm practicing that more and more with myself, and I'm encouraging people to do the same, is to see the things that maybe we don't prefer, see the things that we can work on, but be okay, like that, like it's okay that I have these things. It's okay that, you know, I'm not a perfect human being right now. It's fine that, you know, I don't like these things in me. I don't necessarily want to keep them around for too much longer, but of course it's okay that I have them. You know, everybody has them. Maybe not these ones, but everybody has something that they dislike in themselves and in other people. And so self-honesty is to, you know, to first look within, or even look without, like see your behavior, see how you're behaving with people, see how you're treating yourself, you're treating other people, and then just sort of like, you know, be aware and say, yeah, okay, that's something. I got that going on. And then like say it's okay, and then start to look for solutions and then go from there. But until you do that, I mean, like I was saying, like, I don't think it's necessary all the time to be honest and see every single thing, every single moment. I think it's fine to be like, yeah, I don't want to look at that right now. I'm dealing with other stuff, and, you know, to take it easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that. I know Val has to go, so thank you so much, Val, for being here. You can find out more about Valerie Soule at thepowerofelmotions.ca. What Sam was saying is absolutely true. I really love what you're saying there. I don't want to imply that you gotta like be brutally honest and like know every single flaw about yourself. But you know what? If you really do hate your job, if you really do like can't stand being there, and it really is a big sort of, it's not a pebble in your shoe, it's a rock on your shoulder, well then you gotta like, that's where I say don't keep going to work every day ignoring the fact that it's tearing you up inside. Don't keep staying in that relationship over and over because you're afraid to be alone. Like, don't, those big things that we tend to be in self-denial about, face them. Not necessarily that you have to quit your job tomorrow or get divorced or anything like that, but just have the conversation with yourself, right? Have this internal dialogue. Jason, if I can ask you, I don't know if you have an opinion on the subject when it comes to self-honesty, but do you find it hard, difficult, easy for you to sort of look at who you are and admit the things that you do well and not well?
I think it's something that I personally don't feel like I do enough. I tend to go with the flow and kind of follow a certain routine. I've been trying to incorporate some ways of being more honest with myself, such as I've been trying a gratitude journal where I try every day, I list 3 things that I'm very grateful for, and taking an acknowledgement of what is great with my life right now. And the self-honesty talk, I feel that I think it's very hard for me to have that talk, because sometimes I feel that there's a blockage where I feel like when I'm too honest with myself, it's like as if I'm revealing my weakness. And I don't know, it's just something I have to pass over, and I'm still having a hard time, and that's making me think right now. Actually, I'll give some more thoughts after this ends.
I really like what you're saying there, and I know a gratitude journal is going to be that's an excellent way to prime yourself. You know, what I like to tell people, or what I like to think for myself, is, you know, don't start with the hard stuff. Start with self-praise. Start with loving who you are. Start with gratitude, and then when you build up this layer of love, then you can go towards the vulnerable parts, right? If you just start ripping yourself open and you don't even care enough about yourself to put yourself back together, then that's kind of difficult. And so I really love what you're talking about. It's sort of like when you go to the gym, you stretch before you do weight training, you know, because you don't want your muscles to tear, you don't want to damage your body, so you stretch in order for you to be in a state in which you can do this sort of harder lifting. So I think a gratitude journal, for example, is an excellent way to do it. But it is painful, and or it can be painful, and that's where I think the benefit of other people come in. You know, sometimes my first experience with self-honesty wasn't me being honest with myself, but being willing to listen to someone else's opinion, someone else's critique about myself, whether it's family, friends, loved ones, or even people that you just met. I was in school when I was younger, and my teacher, I used to ask my teacher questions. My English teacher would stop me. He'd stop the whole class and say, not ask. Can I ask you a question? Ask. And I remember feeling very upset that she would correct me in front of everybody. Very upset. Why can't I do this? Why can't I say this? Feeling very irritated. You know, I'm 12 and 13 at the time. Feeling very bothered by it. And I remember I always had difficulty accepting criticisms from other people. But when I started valuing the opinions and the perspectives from others, that they could see me from a light that I couldn't see myself, and then I recognized it enough to modify my behavior, to change a bit, then I started appreciating the criticisms I got from other people. And when I started appreciating the criticisms I got from other people, then I started appreciating the ones that I gave to myself. You know, so if you're out there and you're having trouble with self-love and self-acceptance and all that stuff, don't just tear open the book. Do things like gratitude journals. Sam, if somebody's dealing with something like this, you know, our friend here talking about gratitude journals, but is there any other thing that sort of makes it easier to accept criticism from yourself and from other people, accept the sort of that honest?
Yeah, like if we think about the law of attraction, whatever you give your attention to becomes a bigger part of your experience. So if you have a tendency of being a little bit more negative or looking at things that you don't like about yourself, about others, you're feeling a little bit more down, then that's not the time to go and like start looking within and seeing what you don't like, what you would like to improve, right? Because if you do that, then you're looking from a lens of negativity. You're looking from a lens of criticism. And so I think what Jason is doing is like one of the best things is starting to be more grateful for the things you have in your life. You know, I always encourage people to write down the things they like about themselves or the things that they're proud of, even just opening the door for an old lady. Like, I'm proud that I opened the door for an old lady today. That shows that I care about people or that I'm considerate. So exactly what you're saying, like build yourself up as much as you can before really, you know, starting to look at the criticisms that you might have for yourself or other people. Because when you do it from a place of like love or caring or acceptance, then the results are going to be a lot more positive than if you're looking at it from a lens of negativity or criticizing. So just do the things that will help you to feel better, which is the self-love, finding activities you enjoy, being around people who are positive, you know, doing things that uplift you, and then look within, you know, more.
I really like that, Sam. You're really on point here today. That's excellent life coach information there. If you want to know more about Sam, you can find out more about her at samanthabarley.com. She's you know, an excellent life coach. Is a life coach someone that, when it comes to self-honesty, is that a role that they play, sort of being the trusted person to sort of give you that honest sort of look at yourself, or is life coaching sort of not in that domain?
Well, so I don't think I'm a typical life coach. You know, that's what I say. What I help people with is I don't like just point out things. Like, I'll ask a lot of questions to help people figure it out on their own. Like, I'll guide them to the questions that will help them to sort of discover that within. And then once we sort of discover it, I won't like just keep them with it and like, you know, let them leave. Like, okay, well, how do you feel about that? What can you do to feel better? How can you improve it, or how can you accept it? And so, yeah, definitely, I go into all that. I don't know if other life coaches do or not.
Well, you're really top notch there, so that's really, really cool. I'm going to say one more thing before we have to end the show here. This is a cool exercise that you can do. This is my first experience with sort of personal self-honesty. I didn't know that this is what I was going to do when I started this exercise, but that's what this exercise revealed. So it's called the love stare. Okay, so you every morning I would go look into the mirror, stand in front of the mirror. Well, it didn't have to be the morning, but you use a mirror and you sort of stare at yourself in your eyes. Okay, now I don't know about you guys, but I've always had a hard time with eye contact, and I never realized that I would have a hard time holding eye contact with myself. And so I was looking into the mirror, and the love stare is about holding your attention, holding your gaze for about 2 minutes, while sort of allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to pay attention to your thoughts, allowing yourself to sort of see what's happening within you. And as you do this love stare, as you pay attention to what you're looking at, paying attention to your eyes, to your face, the way you're looking at yourself, you're going to be surprised by what comes up in your mind. And over time, as I did this week after week, the thoughts started changing into things that were far more positive. I would tell myself, I love myself, you look beautiful, you're a kind person, self-praise to myself in the mirror, looking at myself in the eyes, using that sort of powerful tool. And then I was able to not only be honest with myself, but to transform the thoughts that I was thinking into thoughts that were a different type of honesty, revealing what I truly believed about myself, not just about the criticisms that were negative, but those critiques that could be very, very positive and uplifting. So if you got a mirror and you want to stare at yourself in the mirror for a little while and see what comes out when you hold your gaze, you might be surprised, and I think it's very, very useful. Before we move on to our next segment, was there anything else that you wanted to say on this subject about self-honesty? All right. Well, you guys did a great job. I think you guys were really awesome. That's really, really cool. Thank you so much. This is a great episode. The last segment we have is called What's for Dinner? It's very easy. Okay. What did you eat in the last 7 days that you appreciated? Okay. What did you eat in the last 7 days that you appreciated? It doesn't have to be something special. Just has to be something that you appreciated. Maybe our friend Jason ate something like right after his near miss, and that I was gonna say watermelon, but it's not in season. That orange, that delicious orange, tasted like extra good. I don't know. But did you eat something in the last 7 days that you appreciated, that you enjoyed?
I'll go.
Yeah. Jason, you
go ahead, Jason. Yeah.
Sure. Actually, today, the lunch my wife made for me was actually very delicious, and I text her saying that it was really good. So I think it was it was my way of showing gratitude and showing to her that I really liked her lunch.
What was it? If we
it was mashed potato with beef and sauce and peas and corn. It was very delicious.
Oh my God, now I'm hungry.
That's like a huge dinner, but for lunch, that's great.
That's great. I like that. How about you, Sam? What did you enjoy?
Well, so at the retreat, it was like a potluck, so everything was good, but there was one specific thing that I really enjoyed, and even today I went out to the health food store and I was looking for all the ingredients. It was like an oatmeal type thing, but it wasn't oatmeal. There was like millet, quinoa, and other like seeds and things in there. It was delicious, and what they had on it, we poured coconut cream on it and put tons of fruits. Just so delicious. Everybody was in love with it. The texture, the coconut cream, the fruit, it was just delicious. So I'm collecting all the ingredients, and I'm going to make it this week.
That sounds tasty. That sounds tasty.
Yeah.
I ate something that I really appreciated. It was really surprising. Someone in our group, now I don't know if I can say the name. I feel like it's weird. But anyway, someone really lovely in our group made molasses cookies for our last meetup. And I bite into this, and it was like being transported to my childhood. I don't know what I ate in my childhood that tasted like this, these molasses cookies, but they were really, really wonderful. So thank you so much, Kay, for making that for us. That was very, very delicious. You guys, just going to let you know quickly what's coming up on our calendar. If you're interested, if you're in the Montreal area, you want to do something here with us. This weekend, I'm having a workshop. It's called The Shepherd, the 6 Guiding Essentials. Essentially, it's how to solve any problem. I know it's ambitious. I know it's crazy, but it actually is pretty good. It's my best workshop, how to solve any problem. That's going to be this Saturday downtown. February 11th. And then we have, it's full now, isn't it? We have a dinner that we're going to be going to, dinner and drinks, and that's going to be on the 18th of February. RSVP to the wait list. Maybe some people change their thing. If enough people RSVP on the wait list, maybe I'll do a double taking of it. We have limited seatings, but that's what's coming up for the Law of Attraction. How about you, Sam? Real quick here, and then we'll let people go.
Okay, well, so right now I have, so I was supposed to be doing Groove Dance last Monday, but the other co-organizer, she was sick, and so it is going to be Monday, February 13th. We're going to do the Groove Dance for yourself of inhibition, so super fun, just let yourself go, get some exercise, super great. And I will be planning a group life coaching for next week. I'm still deciding the topic. I think it might be self-love, but I'm trying to figure out what I'd like to do next week. So keep your eyes open for that. That's with Self-Discovery Montreal, or go to SamanthaBarley.com, click events.
We did it. Thank you so much for joining the show. Jason, you were awesome. Thank you, Valerie, Soule, and Samantha Barley. Take care and see you next week for an exciting episode of The Appreciationist. Take care, everyone. Bye, everyone.